5, 4, 3, 2,
Manchester
1,
United have
0.
reached the promised land.
Yes, everybody, how are we all doing? It's Monday. There's genuinely a game of football this week. Now, I'm not talking about pointless internationals. I'm not watching England. My God, what an absolute chore it is to watch England play at the moment. I watch them in the World Cup, but they'll probably lose. But anyway, football this week, and not only just football this week, City. Erling Haaland against Lisandro Martinez. The game on Sunday, woof. Man United were really unfortunate that the break came when it did, that the games were postponed when they were postponed, because we were bang in form. That momentum has sort of left a little bit. But during the international break, I'll run through it this morning. Our players have really sort of stepped up this international break, kept their form. Christian Eriksen, Diogo Dalot, what are you doing? Scoring 2 goals for Portugal? You madman. I'm going to speak about all of that in this show this morning. And I'm going to speak about Harry Maguire again. I swear, look, on my life, I don't want to be, but it's because it's the international break and there's no real, the stories, the beauty of football, right? When you play a game every 3 to 5 days, it means the story constantly moves forward and you don't really dwell too much. When it's international break, you kind of dwell a little bit. And that's what we're going to be doing today, I suppose. Maguire's reacted to the criticism of him last week. And honestly, it blows my mind, the lack of self-awareness that our captain has. And also, I really want to say something about the people that are surrounding him, because they're really, really letting him down at this point. That's what I think anyway. But who's down here in the comments? We've got Stephen, Ian, Ruben. Good morning to you. Wendy, I see you there. John, Carl, Ruben. Not that Ruben. Paul, Roland. We've got Vicky. We've got Orr. We've got Ant. We've got Gungshi. As always, Sam, Alan, tons of you joining in. And no doubt, everyone's going to be tuning in more this week. As I said, when it's the international break, and it's been a long ass time, man. By the time that we play City on Sunday, on the 2nd of October, it will be just shy of a month since our win against Arsenal. Just shy of a month. You know how mad that is? Especially considering we're not going to have any football for a month because of the World Cup. Staggering. But before I get started this week, there's 2 things I want to say. Number 1, look at that. New week, new photo of Erik ten Hag. I've got a sexy Casemiro one down there as well. Big up to Stanley Chow for his prints. I love buying them. I love supporting him, and he helps me out. Sends me a few for free too. So big up to you, Stan. But yeah, sort of thought I'd freshen it up a little bit. I think I might freshen up the whole look at some point soon. Not sure what to do. So if any members want to help me, you can let me know in the comments. But something that's happening tonight, which I've been working on for a long time now behind the scenes. I'm really, really happy to sort of announce that tonight on the podcast, I'm going to be interviewing the 1958. Now, the 1958 have correctly, I think, kept themselves to themselves so far. I think they've only done one. They've done one podcast before. I think that's the only sort of media appearance. And they've chosen United People TV to do that. I think for me, that's a testament to the fact that the work we're doing here, the work I'm doing here, it's paying off because we're doing it right. Because there's significantly bigger channels that they could have gone to. But the 1958 will be on the podcast tonight. It should be me, Alex, and Bao, and then 3 members of the 58. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a tweet out. Actually, I might not send a tweet out. I think I might just do this members only. So members on Telegram, I'm going to go into the members only chat later on today. And I'm going to ask you for your questions that you want to send into the 1958. And towards the end of the podcast, I'll have a little section dedicated to just questions from the members of the United People's TV community. So if you want to fire one in, make sure you send one into that group later. But yeah, the 1958, I mean, you know full well what I've been shouting about here, about the Glazers for a long, long, long time. And the 1958 have managed to do something differently. I've told you that. It's the consistency of the protests. Every single home game. Not every single home, because you can't do it in the Europa League. We can do it in the Europa League once. It's every single Premier League home game. They're doing it differently. They're keeping the conversation, the noise up. And given what's happening right now with Manchester United and with Manchester United's finances, there's real opportunity, I think, that we can get these fuckers out of the club. I'm sorry to swear this early on a Friday morning? On a Monday morning. There's something I was going to pick up here. I can't remember where it is. 1 second, let me find it. Just to sort of double down on that and reiterate the point I'm trying to make there. Kieran Maguire, who I was supposed to speak to from the Price of Football podcast, football finance expert, reiterated this morning. So not only did Manchester United's finances get released on Friday, Monday, Friday, different day, Sam, come on. On Friday, There was also like a 160-page report that got released to, I think, the New York Stock Exchange, where Manchester United is listed. And this is interesting. So this is how much Manchester United's loans actually are, 650 million in total. Now, I never really thought about the concept, but I suppose, of course, it is. The Glazers have taken out their loans from American banks. So now, Manchester United's debt after the pound collapsed over the weekend, thanks to the world's, well, let's not get political, but a ridiculous set of budgets. Who's ringing me? Go away. People just choose to ring me at that point. Yeah, let's not talk about the budgets, apart from the fact that they're fucking disgusting. The pound has collapsed, and our debt now is 612 million pounds against the dollar. That's insane. That's absolutely insane. Hip Hop Juice saying, look, why put Maguire's mug on a thumbnail? Please, Sam. It's Monday. It's not allowed. I apologize about that. I really do. But let's talk about it. Actually, no, sod that. Let's talk about the good things first. And then I will speak about Harry Maguire. Because as I said, I'm going to do a video on him today, right? I said this yesterday on Twitter. I said, look, I'm definitely doing a video on Diogo Dalot today. I could have done it earlier, but now feels the right time. Yesterday, he's scored not once for Portugal for his first goal, scored twice. And Bruno got a goal and an assist. It's so fantastic to see Manchester United's players, and you're damn right I'm speaking about this mad bad boy next as well, keeping up their form during the international break. And not only keeping up their form, but like putting in man of the match performances during the international break. And Diogo Dalot, man, his growth over the last 2 years has been absolutely phenomenal. From his loan spell at Milan, I think that helped round his game a little bit, learned a different style of football. And I think that definitely rounded him. And then Ralf Rangnick bringing him into the team, that was another step up. Add those two things there, and then add Erik ten Hag in on top of that. And we're just seeing a player taking advantage of the opportunity that's in front of him. And there's one thing that really, really stood out to me was Diogo Dalot saying that he realizes that he's one of the players who could help Manchester United be restored. And I've always felt like that surely that is something that needs to drive these players. I think that drives Erik ten Hag. Whoever the manager is at Manchester United that gets us back to winning the Premier League trophy, whatever the players are that get us back to winning the Premier League trophy, they're going to go down as legends. And if you're talking about legacies, career legacies, my word, you're not going to get many better things than that. And you're down there saying, look, it's simply proof of how good boss can truly uplift you. Ten Hag said there was quality in the squad. I was skeptical, but he's converted me. And I always knew that. I always said, like, I know that new signings are important. And geez, we've seen that new signings are important. But just as much as that was the improvement that was necessary. The squad last season was better than the performances. Better than the performances that we were putting in, man. I know that there were huge weaknesses in the squad, but we weren't that bad last year. Not in terms of personnel. And I think Ten Hag has been showing that. So, yeah, I'm doing that video on Diogo Dalot today. I'm really looking forward to it. I think he absolutely deserves the spotlight. Remember that series I used to do, In the Spotlight? Maybe I'll bring that back. But I'm going to put him in the spotlight today. I'm going to call it The Rise of Diogo Dalot, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm sure you'll watch it too. Lou, I see they're joining as a team captain this morning. I saw that. Hi, Sam. Any chance Maguire leaves in January? I think that's a bit slim, if I'm being completely honest. I don't think he'll leave in January, but I think Maguire... I'll speak about Maguire in a bit, all right? I will speak about Maguire, but I think he's going to be one of the first names on that sell sheet when it comes to the summer. But look, speaking about players who are playing well during the international break, my God, man. I think I love Christian Eriksen. I knew he was going to be good for United. I don't think I ever doubted that he was going to be good for United, but he's ridiculous. And he's not just doing it. He's not just doing it in a Manchester United shirt. Yesterday for Denmark against France, by the way, world champions France, he put in a man of the match performance. I'm not sure if you've seen this pass that he puts in, but Eriksen is he's grown into this deeper lying playmaker role. I suppose it's a bit like when Michael Carrick in his career, and it's not like Carrick was ever a player who played aggressively forward, but Carrick dropped a little bit deeper. Scholes did drop a little bit deeper too. And I think Eriksen, it's not the fact that I mean, he's got the fitness. He clearly does. But where United and Ten Hag need him is in that deeper line playmaking role. And he put in this pass from just inside his own half that was, one of those passes. It's not like a looping pass. It's just fired straight at him. It came like 10, 15 feet off the ground. It was like an arrow. Perfect pass. I don't know who it was into, down on the right wing. He missed the chance. But Christian Eriksen, oh my God. I did not think that there would be a better free signing than Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Honestly. Christian Eriksen's blown that out of the water. He absolutely has blown that out of the water. He is incredible, and I can't wait to see what he does. Now, I'm down here, and I'm sitting. What are you doing, Warren? Jeez. Warren is coming. What, Warren, do you have a good weekend? Warren, big Warren, the absolute G that he is, has just donated 20 memberships into the chat. What an absolute legend. The Christian Eriksen of United People's TV. Well, if he's a Christian Eriksen, what's Gungshi? I don't know. Lissandro Martinez? Well, you can both be whoever you want. But look, thank you very much, Warren. I say it every single time. I've kind of run out of superlatives to describe how generous this community is in just inviting others in. And yeah, and the fact that we've got the 1958 that want to come on United People's TV, it goes to show this is a genuine community now that's being recognized for its authenticity. And that's probably the big buzzword that I've always stood by. I've tried to be as authentic as possible here on United People's TV. And I think that's kind of come across. I think that's why the community is how the community is. Malaysia, I'm not sure if you saw that lovely little goal in training that he scored for Holland. Van Gaal seemed to be happy with that. I think Bruno Martins Indy was injured, so he played a little bit of left centre-back for Holland last night. But they played with the back five. So I think it was Daley Blind playing as the left wing-back. Dumfries is a right wing-back, and it was Van Dijk, Timber, and then I think Malaysia came on towards the end. I love Malaysia as well. Oh man, just new signings. It's amazing how much a new signing can this summer, getting it right this summer with the likes of Malaysia, with the likes of Christian Eriksen. This is why people get excited about transfer windows, because we all know that the right transfer can transform how your team looks, how your team operates, how good your team is. Just one player, let alone when you get it right with Eriksen, with Martinez, with Malaysia. I hope Casemiro at some point soon as well. I don't doubt that he will be. It's just at Manchester United, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. What is down here? Did Lindelof get any minutes? I'm not actually sure, Vicky, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, look, Blind went to the centre-back position. I got it wrong. I got it wrong. Anyway, he played. He came on there. What else are you saying down here? Dalot for striker. Bops in 2 goals, and then he called him in for being a striker. Why not? Thank you very much, Carl. Look, you can watch it. As I said, you'll know full well, or maybe you don't. I've spoken about it quite a lot. I've never really done collabs, and I don't mean that in too much of a disrespectful way to other communities. I've been invited in other places, but I just want to do me. I just want to do United People's TV, and we do it our way. We don't need to sort of, and it's not a case of cliquey and we're fighting against each other. It's not, no. I just want to do things in my way on United People's TV, and I think I do it correctly. And that's why I sort of stick to my own path. And I think it's worked so far. And I think I'll continue to do it. And it's been a long old journey, I'll tell you that. It has been a long old journey to get here. Chetan is saying, look, Eriksen was amazing last night. Good to see the squad play. Absolutely. They're just playing fantastic. It's not what I meant, CJ. It's not what I meant, but probably should have used a different turn of phrase. But look, let's talk about Maguire, okay? I swear on my life, I'm bored of this conversation because it feels like we're repeating ourselves. But I could have done another video here, another shorter video. You know, we speak every morning, 9:30, but I do my shorter videos that go out during the day as well. I could have done another one here on Maguire. I just didn't want to. But look, this is what Maguire said after, the criticism that was aimed at him last week, and then the article from Mark Ogden talking about saying that communication with De Gea couldn't happen because he speaks Spanish, even though De Gea speaks perfect English. The fact that he can't play alongside slow players. And it was a really weird article, quoting sources close to Maguire. And I did a reaction video on that. It was just, I didn't like it. It was a bit weird. And Maguire was obviously asked about that criticism, and he spoke to TalkSport. And this is what he said down here. He said, I think if people can make a story about me, I'm Manchester United captain, it's going to be big news. So that is the reason they do it. They like the clicks and things like that. But I went into the Euros after an 8-week injury and did not play one game and got into team of the tournament. And honestly, when I was reading that the first time, I looked and I went, oh, really? I've spoken about Harry Maguire's lack of self-awareness before. It's a huge problem if you don't have self-awareness. If you don't know your own strengths, if you don't know what you're good at, if you don't know your own flaws, if you don't know your own weaknesses, you can make yourself sound like an absolute prick. And I think that's what he's doing here. Lou, you're saying it kind of feels Maguire's inherited the Pogba circus, if not worse. It's not I wouldn't call it a circus around here. Honestly, at this point here, with Harry Maguire, I'm almost looking more at the people around him than I am at Harry Maguire. Because when you're in the eye of the storm, I imagine, it's extremely difficult to be able to objectively speak about yourself. So take a step back and go, right, okay, let's speak about this properly. Maguire is down there and he's getting hit left, right, and centre, pelters, arrows flying in. He's defended himself and he's lashing out. That's what he's doing here. But the sources close to Maguire shouldn't be speaking to Mark Ogden. They should be speaking to Harry Maguire and saying, look, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? It's literally best that you keep quiet if you're not going to say the right things. And time again, from that interview before the Liverpool game, which will always stick in my head, to this example here. Dude, what are you talking about Euro 2024? What the fuck does that matter? You put in an absolutely garbage full season in the Premier League since then. You have no right to talk about that. It's weird. Joseph is a really good point there, saying, look, lack of awareness off the field mirrors the lack of awareness on it. It does. It's very, very strange. Now, look, I can understand what Nemanja Matic is getting here when he's sort of jumping to the defense of Maguire. You're saying that what people are doing to him is a disaster. Everything has to have limits. And some of these people writing on social media, they don't have their own lives. So they just have to write bad things about someone else. And this is the difference between justified criticism and trolling. You know, in the same way that, I don't know, you might have a whole set of football fans going to a game and there might be like 10, 20, 30 who let everyone down, who do some hooligan sort of stuff. And it lets the whole fan base down. That's kind of what Matic is doing here. He's trying to put everyone in one category. What I think we've done here in United People's TV, and what I think a lot of people do, is justified criticism based on the performances that we see on the pitch week in, week out, and what Harry Maguire has said. We combine those two, and there is fair justification for criticism. But what Matic is correct about here is that the people go too far. There's mad shit that happens. I've spoken about this sort of anonymous abuse. It's a huge problem with the internet. It's a huge problem with social media, and he's correct to call it out. And it's because those two things, I suppose, can't be separated. It's difficult to separate those two things. But this photo here is exactly what Maguire needs to do, man. I can't pinpoint exactly when it started. Was it Greece? Not really, because Greece was where we as a football club and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as a manager sort of backed him, absolutely backed him to the hilt. Could have been dropped as United captain at that point completely. I mean, there's so many other times he could have been dropped as United captain, but that's just Harry Maguire's got to think. He's really got to think. And in my mind, this is not thinking. This is lashing out. This is nibbling. This is like if the trolls are putting out the fishing rod, got an absolute gobble there from Harry Maguire. He's bitten down on that one, and they've got what he wants. He's doing it to himself at this point. He's really not helping himself. It's got to be a case of remaining silent until the performances deliver. And look, when he played against Italy, he was there. I mean, the whole England team was. Let's be completely honest. Let's go down here. Maguire can't think for his own. I don't know. I'm expecting too much of him. Imagine expecting too much of United's captain. I'll tell you, that's it. It's the armband. I'll ask you now a curious question. Now, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that that United fans would have a different view of Maguire if he wasn't captain? Do you honestly think that the criticism that goes towards him is mainly because of his poor performances and what he says, or is it because he's the captain? I know it's a bit of both, but do you think if he wasn't the captain, do you think that the criticism against Maguire would be less? Or do you think it would be just the same? Because in my opinion, I think it's absolutely linked to that armband. And for me personally, it's why I go harder on Maguire than I do on others. Because I think if you're going to be given the responsibility of having the captain's armband, you have to be held accountable to a higher standard. You're supposed to be the captain. In the football team, you're supposed to be the one player that you can guarantee puts in 110%, 150% every single game, so that other players can look at the captain and go, you know what? My captain's doing it. Let's go. That's what captains are supposed to do. That's why captains are captains. You don't make your shittest player the captain. It's pointless. Let's see what you're saying down here. I wouldn't say. I don't know. I don't know whether he's I think the way Erik ten Hag has managed him so far, I think he's done it spot on. I'll be completely honest. I didn't particularly agree with the kind of undermining myself here straight away. I didn't particularly agree with the fact that he gave him he allowed him to keep the captaincy. But that was his way of saying, look, okay, I'm going to support you, but just understand that doesn't mean you're going to be playing every single week. He gave him the opportunity to prove himself against Brighton and Brentford. He got let down by Maguire. And he goes, well, you know what? Off you go. Off you pop. On the bench. In you come. Varane, let's go. Got 4 wins in a row, including 2 clean sheets. Then we got the Real Sociedad game, and Erik ten Hag threw Harry Maguire a bone. Threw his second 11 a bone. Said, look, show me what you lads can do. And again, we lost 1-0. Right, okay, out you go. Let's go and play Sheriff. What happens? We win. Another clean sheet. Without Harry Maguire. The performances, the results, everything has pointed towards the fact that Manchester United are better without Harry Maguire. And I don't think he knows what to do at this point in time. I really don't. Harry Maguire seemingly is extremely good at pointing in every single direction, apart from at himself, which points towards a huge lack of self-awareness. Also quite a big ego, if I'm being completely honest. Alex was saying, look, captains should normally be the first name on the team sheet. Needs to lead by example, and currently well, there's an example with Martinez and Eriksen, isn't there? That way Maguire could keep or lose it rather than taking far better up. So I don't really understand that one. My bad. Mick, you're saying, look, he's totally failed as a leader. And I'll be honest, I think he completely has. Ashley saying, look, Sam, what if the captaincy is taken away from him and he still doesn't perform? Well, then I think we've already got to talk about selling him. I spoke about that last year, and I still stand by it. Yeah, I'm a big advocate of always looking forward, of always trying to have the conversations here where we talk about going forward. And going forward, I don't think Harry Maguire is part of Manchester United's successful future, right? In the same way, I don't think David De Gea is going to be, not in the same way, sort of different conversations, I suppose. But in terms of where Ten Hag is going towards and the road we are walking down, I don't think Maguire's got a role there. I don't think De Gea will be a crucial part of that either. He might be there in the first early steps of it, but I think we will replace De Gea. I think we will replace Harry Maguire. And it's these sorts of conversations where you can sort of hark back to last season. And it's a season that we all want to forget. And Maguire was a big part of that. But look, I don't personally think that Harry Maguire will be sold in January. I think Harry Maguire, if we're going to sell him, which I think we absolutely is a definite possibility, I think it's going to be more towards the summer. And we need to. I think we need to. I don't know whether... I think the only interesting thing that we will be able to see between now and the end of the season is Erik ten Hag's response. Does he just allow Maguire to keep the captain's armband while sitting on the bench? Or does he go and give it to Bruno Fernandes on a permanent basis? Does he go and make Bruno captain and make Eriksen vice captain? Does he screw all of that and give it to Lisandro Martinez. He could do that, but I imagine he'll take his time on that, because when he does that, he's made his decision, right? It's switching the captain is not something you can just willy-nilly change every 3 to 4 weeks. I imagine Ten Hag's going to leave a little time with Maguire on the bench. No one's really talking about the captain's armband anymore. Bruno's kind of playing like the captain because he's got the captain's armband on. I think he'll take his time on it because he has to get it right. And if you're looking at possibilities inside the squad, I always said Bruno. I always said Bruno. And Bruno is playing like one now. But then Eriksen, the way he's playing, and Martinez, the way he's playing, mamma mia. One of those three. And Tyler is saying, look, Bruno's showing Maguire what a leader needs to do. I love Bruno, man. I love Bruno. And I love Eriksen, but I love Bruno. And I'm so glad that he's finding him. He's finding his position. He's finding clarity. I think with Bruno, a big thing is the clarity in the role. He's got like 4K vision now in terms of what his manager wants him to do every single week. He knows exactly what he needs to do and what he wants to do. And he doesn't have to drop so deep because Eriksen's there. So we don't have to see Bruno running around like an excited puppy 24/7. He can operate inside a certain position. And now we're starting to see the best of Bruno again. We're starting to see more like the Bruno that we got when he came in January, right? I think so anyway. What a bloke. Fabrizio Romano has sort of been speaking about David De Gea in his future. We just spoke about it there. Little comment here. He's saying, look, for sure, the De Gea situation has to be clarified. But I'm told on both player and club, there is on the player and club side, there's still no decision. Now, this is revolving around the fact that Manchester United have the option to exercise a 1-year contract extension with De Gea, or his contract runs out for free in the summer. His contract runs out in the summer and he can leave for free. I imagine Manchester United will be doing this. I don't think we'll be letting De Gea go for free. I imagine, because if I'm looking next summer, I don't know. It all depends on how quickly you think we need that Ederson or Alisson type goalkeeper. And I'm sorry, we need one, right? It depends whether you're sort of emotionally attached. But again, if you're just taking a step back and you're taking a step out and you're looking here, United need to get a ball-playing goalkeeper who is confident and comfortable playing out from the back with the ball. All right? De Gea used to do that back in his early days. United as a whole team, we're not confident in that yet. So maybe De Gea will develop across the course of the season. He will get better at it, or slightly less worse at it. I think we'll call it that. I personally think United will exercise this extension, give 1 more year on De Gea, and then probably the summer after, look towards finding our Ederson or Alisson. And then next summer, we're going to be focusing purely on a striker. Not purely on a striker. Jonathan, what are you saying here? Let me read this one out. All ifs and buts, but Ronaldo should have been captain last season. Maguire could have been dropped by Ole, then who was reluctant to do so. And under Ronnie, a top 4, I think, would really have happened. Well, that is an ifs and buts. Let's be honest. I don't think Ronaldo's getting anywhere near that captaincy anymore, and nor should he be. Now you're saying Bruno should be captain. As I say, it'll be interesting to see whether he gives Bruno the captaincy at some point this season. I hesitate to think that he won't. Certainly not for the first half of the season. Maybe a little bit later on in the season. But I don't particularly think we're going to be seeing that happen anytime soon. Because, as I said, once he's done that, he's made his bed. He's got Bruno as captain. And it's going to be hard to take that away from him. Gungshi, man. Gungshi and Warren. I wish I could give something more to you. I need to somehow give you a different... Maybe I'll make a little different badge for both of you. Absolute godfathers of the channel. He's dropped another 10 gifted memberships here. So 30 gifted memberships here this morning. I'll tell you what, I might even join in. Let me load this bad boy up. There's too much generosity going in. You're making me look bad, people. No, I'm joking. But look, I'm going to join the crowd. Let me go down here and let me gift my own. Membership gifting. Sod it. I'll throw in another 10. Why not? Big up to every single person who keeps doing this. You help the community grow bigger and better. All the new members, right? Make sure you join. If you look in the YouTube comments, the description, the link to the community page is down there. Make sure you drop a like on the video as well, by the way. There's so many of you. Actually, no, it's good to see more of you joining in. Look, because you know what? I was going to mention this towards the end of it, but look, this is coming on Sunday, baby. This is coming on Sunday. Yes. I can't wait to see this. I can't wait to see Martinez play against Haaland. I can't wait to see United go up against City. I'm nervous about the game because let's be honest, we are 2, 3 level. I don't know how you measure the levels, but we're levels below City. They are on a different stratosphere to any other team inside the Premier League at the moment. The consistency, the quality, it's almost unfair. It's just a well-run football club under a manager that knows exactly what they're doing. But Martinez has played Haaland before and had him in his back pocket. I hope to see that could happen again. That can happen again on Sunday. See, in my opinion, I disagree with this entirely. City is not the measure of Manchester United at this moment in time. Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs. That's the measure of Manchester United at this moment in time. And we've beaten Liverpool and we've beaten Arsenal, right? City is just, they are somewhere else. The only thing I want, what is going on down here? Even Joseph's dropped in with a quick 10 memberships. Mate, it is absolute. It's raining outside and it is raining memberships here on United People's TV. It must be the new poster. Look at that. Erik ten Hag looking like some sort of guardian angel. He is the new guardian angel. It's a really good point there. I always forget that. Look, gifted memberships, they are wonderful, but it is a gift. It's a 1 month thing. So I'd love for all of you to sort of renew, as Or says there. Or thank you very much for sending that super chat to remind me, dude. 40. Is it 40? No, it's 50. I've known it's 50 memberships this morning. And why? So you've been given one. Welcome aboard. Harry Siddle, that looks like a new name as well. You're saying, look, City's the biggest challenge, but easily, especially the defense. Looking forward to seeing how we do. I think we could walk away. And I genuinely mean this from the bottom of my heart. I genuinely mean the only thing I want Manchester United to do on Sunday is to compete in the game, right? Just go toe-to-toe with them. I expect City to have more quality than us. I expect City to probably beat us. But I don't want to get trounced by City. I don't want to walk away from that game after I've just got humiliated and my pants pulled down by City. That's what I want on Sunday. And if, on top of that, we can get a result out of it, then Jesus, then happy days. That's what I want to see, all right? But look, I'll preview the game on Thursday, I think it is. My starting 11 will go out. But it's good that we can talk about football. That's the longest break we've ever had, I swear. Mad Hatter, you must have been gifted a membership down there. Look, Benjamin watching from New Zealand. So many of you. Ruben, I think you can only do it from desktop because I can't do it from my phone either. If I look here. Can I do that there? Yeah, I can't gift memberships on mobile. I can only do it on desktop. Jamil, looks like you've been given one as well. Linton, I hope you're right. Benson, come on, man. As if I'm going to go on that charity thing. I ain't nowhere near big enough for that. Fair play to the Sidemen, though. They raised over £1 million and filled a full stadium. Say what you want about influencers, but that is a fantastic cause for charity. So well done to every single one of them for doing it. Oh, man. I saw this picture at the weekend, and I had to bring this bad boy up. Mick, thank you for the good comment there, saying that positive and constructive community. Yeah, I do swear sometimes. I apologize about that. I do a little bit of blasphemy. I've had a few people slide into my DMs about that. I don't mean to do it, but it sometimes happens. Unicorn Forever. That's a strange username, but big up to you. Got a good feeling United are going to win 2-1, says Paul. I hope so. But look, I saw this yesterday, and this just put a big old smile on my face. Roy Keane back in the United shirt. How good does that look? He only played 15 minutes. United lost anyway. But I love Roy. I mean, I love everyone this morning, apparently. Eriksen, I love Bruno, and I love Roy Keane. But yeah, there will never be, in my opinion, a better captain in the Premier League for Manchester United than Roy Keane. I think you can have a conversation about Brian Robson. I think was there right at the very start. But Roy Keane was Roy Keane, man. I don't think you can really have a conversation about. No, you can't. It's just Roy Keane. Matthew, you joined as a member as well. Let me know where you're watching from, dude. And Jonathan, you're saying, look, spot on. City are farther into their journey, much more established. Competing is what we should do, and winning is a bonus. That's where we want to get towards. It's where we want to get to. But yeah, I don't think the measure of success is a win or a loss on Sunday. It's about competing in the game and going toe-to-toe. Let's be honest, the best in the league at the moment. Even the fourth official looks scared. He's a terrifying dude, isn't he? He still looks shit scary. The beard has somehow made Roy Keane look scary, but he did peak Roy Keane. Well, I think. Let me get right. I think Roy Keane looked more terrifying when he was bald. There it is. There's the photo. Let me bring this bad boy up. Let me bring this up. I know he looks scary there, but this is what I remember Keane. I mean, who's the scariest skinhead in this photo? I don't really know. Tough choice. Look at that bad boy. I know he looks terrifying there, but that Roy Keane there was peak Roy Keane. Even Nicky Butt's getting involved there at the back. But Yap Stam or Roy Keane, who's the most terrifying baldy? I don't really know. Anthony saying everything Keano did was always for the team. Sam, one positive to look at is none of our first 11 players come back injured. No word on Martial yet. That's an interesting one. There's lots of. I'm looking forward to speaking about the footy this week, of having something to. I took Saturday and Sunday off. I could have done videos, but I didn't particularly think that there was a conversation that we needed to have at the weekend. So I thought, you know what? Let it settle. We'll come back on Monday. Mate, my word, we've got another 2 down here. Alex, you just gifted 10 memberships. And Paul Swift, you just gifted 5 as well. Another 15 this morning. I feel like I want to scream at a computer like that. What's going on? This is it's a testament. Every single time this happens, it's just a testament to the community. Every single person wants to invite everyone in. Come into the party, man. It's good in here. But big up to you, Alex, and big up to you as well, Paul. But we were verging on nearly 100 bloody memberships gifted this morning. But seriously, it's an absolute green army in the comments. But as all mentioned before, it is a gifted membership. It does only last 1 month. I'd love you to join. And look, I'd love to welcome you in. This is going to be the next talking point. I'd love to welcome you in. So make sure you renew the membership after it's done. But yeah, this is a good point to sort of finish on the live stream this morning. Eric Cantona. Now, I'm not sure if you've seen the the interview with Adam Crafton. Adam Crafton putting out 2 absolute monster interviews back to back. Bruno Fernandes at one last week, and now we've got Eric Cantona. This is a cracker. This one. A, it's a cracking photo. B, it's a cracking interview. And C, not sure if you've read the comments here, but let's run through what Eric Cantona said about becoming president of Manchester United. Right. Right. Let me pull this up. He said this. He said, Ed Woodward is great at... Cantona said this. Ed Woodward is great at marketing, but not great at football. United should have a chairman, and then they should have a president of marketing, and then a president of football who is in charge of all the decisions in football. So I proposed to him that I should be president of Manchester United. It's not immediately clear whether Cantona's being serious, but he said yes. Because I met him a few times, but they did not accept it. I still think me or somebody else, they should have somebody for football. It should be somebody from the club who knows football and the club. Imagine that, eh? President Cantona. I mean, it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to say the very, very least. What was that film where he was like? It was like a semi-porno. I think he was a stallion in it. Mate, he's an absolute. I always. That's the dream interview. Getting Eric Cantona here on United People's TV. Not sure whether that would ever happen, but just imagine it did. Mate, and, oh my God. JP, you've joined the absolute party this morning as well. Another 10 memberships. I don't know. How many have we got now? 10, 15, 25, 35, 45. We've had near enough 100 memberships gifted this morning. You know how mad that is? It's a Monday morning, people. It's gloomy outside. You're supposed to be miserable. Weekend's finished. But no, everyone's coming here. Smiles on our faces. Thumbs up. Cantona and Keane up in the board, please. Keane won't go anywhere near United at that level until Fergie's not there. That's abundantly obvious. I'm not sure Roy Keane ever would, really. But that's, for me, why it was so nice to see Roy Keane. Oi. That's why it was so nice to see Roy Keane back in the United shirt. Because he hasn't really had too much to do with United since then. Oh, yeah, that was funny. Liam Gallagher got a video. I remember that video. Cantona's the Don. The Don? It might be Don. Cantona is the Don. I think the story you're talking about was the fact that he didn't want any money. He just turned up in a cab, did it, then just pissed off. What were you saying now, dear? Randy Marsh, I'm not going to be pulling up that comment. But look, last last few minutes of every show now, I have to try and remember to do it. I've remembered today. We switch it to members only on the YouTube comments, which means members, so many of you now, you can fire in your questions for the last couple of minutes of the show. You let me know you can say, ask me anything. Can be to do with United, can be to do with football, can be to do whatever you want. I want to say here one more time for everybody just joining in now, tonight's a really special podcast, the biggest podcast episode so far. We've got the 1958 on. They've decided that United People's TV is I hate the word fan channel. I don't know how else to describe it. I suppose we are a fan channel, but in my opinion, we're a fan channel done correctly. Not that the others don't do it right, but it's hard to sort of speak about other channels without sort of... I'm not slagging them off. I don't agree with a lot of the stuff that Mark Goldbridge does in any way, shape, or not in how it represents Manchester United, but he's successful. He's an entertainer, first and foremost, and he's entertained people. Entertainment's not my first prerogative. It's representing my football club correctly, authentically, and with integrity. And that is why I'll never sort of be the size of United stand, but I don't give a shit. The community that we've got here is incredible. It's absolutely incredible, and long may it live. Mate, even Ruben's joining in now. Ruben's the name of like a sandwich that's around the corner from me. It's like salt pastrami, gherkins, mustard. I love a Ruben. So big up to you, Ruben, too. Thank you very much. Matthew watching the whole way from New Zealand. United should go in for Ivan Toney this January. That would be good. Tyler, you're saying, look, do you believe it's worth getting Baye back and selling Maguire? No. Baye conversation is done. Baye conversation is done. I don't think we need to have that conversation anymore. I don't think that's harsh. I think he will probably... I think if Marseille qualify for the Champions League, they have an obligation to buy for 6 mil. It's cheap. Really cheap. Undervalued. It really is, but it is. I have absolutely no idea who that is. Kvitschka? Well, I feel sorry for any commentator doing that. Any news on the Gary Neville interview? Unfortunately not. Gary still hasn't replied to anything. And I still haven't managed to dig out Gary's email or contact number. So at this moment in time, nothing is happening there. Henderson, I personally feel after that Henderson interview, I don't think he's going to play for United again. And look, Jonathan, you're down there pretty much saying the same thing, that Baye interview. I do think that Baye had a lot of... I think he did have justification there because it was one of Solskjaer. All of our criticisms of Solskjaer was his favoritism. Over-favoritism, whatever you want to call it, to certain players. And there was. And it wasn't just because they were English, but it was just a bit weird. Ruben, what you're saying here, you're saying, really wish I could help the community more. Mate, you've just helped the community loads by bringing in 5 more. What an absolute don. Ian, I said this last week. I think I said it the week before as well. Where is it, Ronaldo? Remember when Ronaldo said that he was going to bring a video out exposing all the lies that had happened? Nothing's happened since. And that was about 6-7 weeks ago. Don't know. It's a little bit weird. How can you help the protest, what you're saying, to get the Glazers out online? Justin, make sure you join in and listen to the podcast that's going to be released tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. with the 1958. I'm going to run through all of that. It's going to be... I think there's quite a lot of people that want to know more about the 1958, who's behind it, the reasons for it, what's coming next, what the conversations have been like with the club. That's what the podcast is going to try and do. Help you understand a bit more about the 1958 so you can get involved with it. Anuj, nice to see you there joining as well. And Jonathan, as I said, look, anybody who's got any questions for the 1958, go into the members chat in the Telegram community, join there and put your questions in there. I'm going to pull a few of those questions out and I'm going to give them to the 1958 towards the end of the podcast. Who do you think will realistically replace Ronaldo, Matt? It's a big question. I don't really know that answer at this particular moment in time. But let's find out. But look, later on tonight, got the podcast with the 1958. Today at lunchtime, I'm going to do a video on this bad boy because I think his form now, we can't just let it. We've got to speak about Diogo Dalot. He's kept his good form up with Portugal. He seems like a player transformed. And I think Erik ten Hag has had a major role in that. Not all of it. And that's what I want to do in the video. Thank you all for joining in this morning. Honestly, from Ruben to who have we got down here? To JP, to Alex, to Warren, to Gungshi. And I'm sorry there's others, but it's just gone off my screen now. Thank you all for donating memberships. What a Monday, eh? Let's bring up this week. United back on Sunday. City at home. I can't wait for it. We were nervous about the Liverpool game. We won. We were nervous about the Arsenal game. We won. Imagine we could do it against City. Woo. It's a huge ask. The biggest ask of the season so far. In my opinion, it's not the acid test for us. I suppose it is the acid test. I don't think it's the measure of where we are right now. But if we can compete against City, that's what we've got to do. It's what United haven't done for a good few years. International break. I hate them. I hate them. But football's back on Sunday. And then we've got 9 games, I think, in 30 days. It's about to get busy. So make sure you subscribe to United People TV. Big up to all the new members. And I'll see you soon. Take it easy.